Derek, one of the things I wanted to ask you about, first of all, is when you and Joshua were working on Calamity Theory, what were sort of the key concerns that brought you to this book and the way of thinking about humanity's future, transhumanism, and as well this existential risk theory that Bostrom and his acolytes have developed and which have become so weirdly popular in very influential circles of Silicon Valley?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Adam. Really appreciate what you're doing with the podcast and the invitation. And shout out to Joshua Schuster, my co-author, who really started off the book in a lot of ways. And so his work is a huge part of it. So we came to the study of existential risk largely from a critical perspective because of concerns about the way people talk about the future in that field. And in part, this is attributable to a kind of disciplinary difference. Yeah. We're coming at it from a very different tradition, not analytic philosophy, not the sort of futurism of Silicon Valley, but the environmental humanities, science and technology studies, these interdisciplinary fields that are shaped more out of the history of science, continental philosophy, and fields that get feminism, critical race theory, rather than what I see as a more abstract or almost kind of rationalist approach to the future. So that was one of my starting points, and I guess one of the first places I actually encountered existential risk thinking. I'd probably heard of Bostrom's work earlier, but one of the places where I first understood what they were thinking about the future was reading an article by Dylan Matthews on Fox. Journalistic article, which was about a trip he took to the Google campus at Mountain View, where Bostrom was speaking at a meeting of the Effective Altruists Society.
Yes.
And so, it's deep in the heart of a kind of Silicon Valley intellectual culture and at the Google campus itself. So, and that tells you something that they were the hosts.
Deep in the heart of the Silicon heart of our society. That's true. Yeah,
exactly. And the article is almost slightly satirical and coming from a bemused perspective, though the author was kind of an insider who considered himself an effective altruist. Yeah. But he just felt that some of the uses of utilitarian philosophy that he was seeing at this conference were kind of too far out.
Yeah.
And just to summarize, it's kind of the idea that in order to really have an ethical, and utilitarianism is a form of ethics, to have an ethical approach to humanity, trying to protect and make people's lives better, we have to think about the lives of all the future humans who might live, right? And so part of the argument there is that if you consider how many humans might live in the solar system, if we become a spacefaring species and live in the solar system for long enough, then some people calculate the number out to the hundreds of billions or trillions. That's true. And once you do that, it becomes much better to infinitesimally lower the risk that those people in the future won't exist than it is to try and improve the lives of people who are alive now or who will be in the immediate future.